Hello, everyone. Happy to see you again. Virgo, today is your day. Your phone is about to light up with message or call that carries weight you haven't experienced from this person before. And you'll know immediately from the tone, the timing, or just the energy of how they're reaching out that this isn't casual check in or surface conversation. This is someone preparing to say something real, something they've been building up courage to express, something that's going to shift the entire dynamic between you. And whatever they say is going to require you to respond with equal depth. This isn't, hey, what's up energy. This isn't small talk or logistics or keeping in touch out of obligation. This is confession, declaration. Truth telling that's been held back for reasons that made sense to them until now, but holding back has become more painful than the vulnerability of speaking. Let me describe what serious and meaningful communication looks like when someone's finally ready to go deep. The message might come late at night when their defenses are down and rational mind has less control over what their heart wants to say. Or early morning when they wake up and you're the first thought and they act on that thought before fear can talk them out of it. The timing itself will signal that this isn't routine contact. It's urgent, important, something they couldn't wait for, appropriate time to express. Or the message might be long, not their usual style if they're typically brief. They'll write paragraphs where they usually write sentences. They'll take time to explain, to provide context, to make sure you understand not just what they're saying, but why they're saying it and what it means to them. Length isn't always indicator of depth, but when someone who's usually concise suddenly writes extensively, that shift signals that what they're communicating requires more than their normal mode of expression can handle. Or the call might come with preamble that makes your stomach flip. Can we talk? I need to tell you something. Are you somewhere you can have real conversation? I've been thinking about this a lot and I need to say it. Those openings create immediate tension because they signal that whatever's coming is significant and your nervous system responds before you even know what they're about to say. Some people announce depth before delivering it because they need you to be prepared, need you to be in mental space to receive what they're sharing rather than catching you off guard when you're distracted or unavailable for serious conversation. Let's pause here. This reflection invites you to consider whose serious text or call would make your heart race even before you knew what they were going to say. Maybe someone you have unresolved feelings with, someone you've been dancing around real conversation with, someone where there's obvious tension or connection or complication that neither of you has directly addressed, or someone who's been distant and their sudden depth feels like them finally closing the gap they created. Someone whose silence has been loud and whose speaking is going to explain what that silence meant. Or someone you didn't expect to hear from at all. Ex who's been gone, friend who faded, person from your past who you thought had moved on. And their reappearance alone is significant, but the tone of their reappearance makes it clear this isn't just casual reconnection. This reflection invites you to consider, what would you want someone to tell you if they were finally being completely honest? There's something specific about what the content of this deep communication might be, because getting deep can mean several things depending on what's been unspoken between you. It might be romantic confession, someone finally admitting they have feelings for you that exceed friendship or casual connection. Someone saying, I'm in love with you, or I can't stop thinking about you, or I want to be with you properly, not whatever undefined thing we've been doing. And if you've been feeling similarly, but waiting for them to speak first, this is the moment where everything clicks into place, where ambiguity ends and actual relationship can begin. But if you don't feel similarly, this confession creates immediate discomfort because now you have to navigate rejecting someone who just made themselves completely vulnerable to you. Or the depth might be apology, real apology, not surface, sorry if I hurt you, but detailed accounting of what they did wrong, why it was wrong, what they understand now that they didn't understand then, and what they're committed to doing differently. Real apology is rare. Most people offer deflection disguised as apology. Explanations that minimize, sorry you felt that way, instead of, sorry I did that. But when someone's actually done the internal work to understand their impact and take full responsibility without excuses, their apology carries different weight, and you'll feel that difference in how they express it. Or the depth might be admission of struggle they've been hiding, mental health crisis, addiction, financial collapse, relationship ending, something significant happening in their life that they haven't been sharing, but that's affecting them profoundly, and they've decided they need to tell you specifically. And that choice to confide in you when they could confide in anyone or no one says something about what you mean to them, even if the content of what they're sharing is painful. Or the depth might be truth they've been avoiding about situation between you. I can't keep doing this casual thing. I need more than you're able to give. I'm not over you even though I said I was. I lied about why I ended things. Whatever they've been pretending or performing gets dropped in favor of what's actually true. And truth, even uncomfortable truth, creates intimacy that performance never can. This reflection invites you to consider what truth between you and someone else has been avoided that might be about to surface. There's something about why now, specifically, this deep communication is happening that matters for understanding its significance and evaluating how to respond. Maybe they've reached breaking point with their own silence. They've been holding this, whatever this is, for so long that it's become unbearable. It's affecting their sleep, their focus, their other relationships. They can't carry it anymore. And that desperation to release it is what's finally overriding the fear of how you'll respond or what expressing it might change. Or something external triggered them. They saw you with someone else. Or they experienced loss that made them realize they don't want to waste time not saying what they need to say. Or they're about to go through change, moving, starting new relationship, entering new life phase, and they want to clear the air before they do. External catalysts often create urgency that internal feelings alone don't generate. Deadline focuses mind. And whatever their deadline is, it's forcing communication they've been postponing indefinitely. Or they received signal from you that created opening. Maybe you reached out After a period of no contact, maybe you said something that made them think you might be receptive. Maybe you posted something that made them realize they needed to act before opportunity passed. Sometimes people are waiting for green light. They may or may not be correctly interpreting, and something you did or said registered as that light, whether you intended it that way or not. This reflection invites you to consider, what have you done recently that might have signaled to someone that you're open to deeper conversation? Let me address what you might need to prepare for when this message or call comes, because receiving depth requires different skills than receiving casual communication. First, you need to actually be present, not half listening while scrolling, not reading their text while doing something else, not having this conversation in environment where you're distracted or interrupted. If someone's being vulnerable with you, they deserve your full attention, and you deserve to fully receive what they're saying rather than missing important parts because you weren't completely focused. Second, you need to resist immediate defensive response if what they're saying triggers you. If they're confessing feelings you're not sure you return, don't immediately shut them down. If they're apologizing for something that hurt you deeply, don't immediately dismiss the apology or attack them. If they're admitting struggle, don't immediately try to fix it. Just listen first. Let them complete what they need to say before you formulate your response. Third, you need to be honest in return. If they're being deep with you, they deserve depth back, not performance of what you think they want to hear, not deflection, not ambiguity designed to avoid discomfort. If you feel the same, say so. If you don't, say that too. If you need time to process before you can respond fully, say that. But whatever you say, make it true. Fourth, you need to consider what this communication means for the relationship going forward. Some confessions clarify and strengthen connection. Others reveal incompatibility that makes continued closeness painful or impossible. Some apologies open path to reconciliation. Others just provide closure for both people to move on. Don't assume the outcome before you hear what they have to say. But once you hear it, be realistic about what it means rather than forcing relationship into shape it can't actually hold. This reflection invites you to consider, are you better at receiving depth, or do you tend to deflect when conversations get serious? There's something about what happens after the deep communication that's equally important as the communication itself, because depth creates vulnerability that needs to be handled carefully by both people. If the communication went well, if you both shared truth and it brought you closer, there might be temptation to immediately return to surface level interaction as way of managing the intensity. Don't do that. Don't have profound conversation and then text about weather the next day like nothing happened. Let the depth stay deep. Build on the vulnerability rather than retreating from it. Or if the communication didn't go the way one or both of you hoped, if feelings aren't mutual, if apology isn't sufficient, if truth revealed incompatibility, there needs to be space to grieve what was hoped for before forcing relationship into new shape. You can't have someone confess love you don't return and then expect to hang out casually 2 days later like that confession didn't happen. The asymmetry of feeling creates asymmetry of experience that requires time to adjust to. Some relationships survive deep honesty that reveals mismatch. Others can't. And trying to force survival when the honest thing is to release creates prolonged pain for both people. Whatever the outcome, honor what the communication revealed rather than trying to undo its impact. This reflection invites you to consider, what would you need after having deeply vulnerable conversation, time alone, continued connection, or clarity about what happens next? Let me be direct about timing because about to needs definition. For most of you, this communication is happening within days, not weeks, not months. This is imminent. The person who's going to reach out is currently building courage, crafting words, waiting for right moment that feels right enough that they can't talk themselves out of it anymore. Some of you will receive this message or call within 4 to 48 hours, others within the week. For few, it's coming this weekend when they have time to have the conversation properly instead of rushing it between other obligations. But it's close, and you might already be feeling it, that anticipation that doesn't have clear source yet, that sense that something's coming, that awareness of certain person more than usual, even though you haven't had direct contact. Your system might be picking up on their intention before their intention manifests as actual communication. You remain in complete control of how you respond when this deep communication arrives. You can engage fully or protect yourself, match their vulnerability or maintain boundaries, welcome depth or decline it. All valid depending on who they are and what they're saying. The power is yours. It always has been. You may notice reading this has activated anticipation mixed with nervousness. Maybe hope that certain person will finally say what you've been waiting to hear. Maybe dread that someone will confess something you're not prepared to receive. Maybe curiosity about who this could be. Whatever you're feeling, honor it. Take what resonates, softly release the rest, trust yourself. Before we close, I want to ask you something. If someone sent you a message saying, "We need to talk, I have something serious to tell you," would your first emotion be excitement or anxiety? Drop your honest response in the comments. And this, are you better at giving depth or receiving depth in communication? A very serious and meaningful text or call, this is about to get deep. And when it arrives, when you see their name on your screen and feel immediately that this is different, that this matters, that this is going to require something from you beyond casual response, you're going to have to decide whether you're ready to go deep with this person or whether you need to protect yourself from intensity you're not prepared for. Not eventually, very soon, days, maybe hours. Trust yourself with this trust that you'll know how to respond when you hear what they have to say. Trust that you can handle depth without losing yourself in it. Trust that honesty serves you better than performance, even when honesty is uncomfortable. See you in the next one, and listen when someone finally drops their guard and shows you what's real. That's gift, regardless of whether their real aligns with what you hoped or feared. Receive it with respect, even if you can't reciprocate it. Stay present, stay honest, stay open. Someone's about to get real with you. Be ready to meet them there. Take care.